So Lee and I were discussing our talks last week. And after we had discussed, there was a song that kept looping through my mind and lyrics that kept looping through. And the song was Paul Simon's song, Still Crazy After All These Years. After all these years. And the song suggests the question, at least to me, if we're in distress or feeling indignant, angry, jealous, impatient, self-righteous, does this mean we can't have equanimity? And it doesn't mean this, of course, because we are all learning to be the less reactive, more gracious hosts to all parts of us, including feelings and thoughts, because feelings and thoughts are simply a part of this ecosystem of being human. And we've referred several times to the poem that speaks to this so wonderfully, The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. We develop habitual patterns based on causes and conditions. And Lee spoke beautifully to this. Because this is so, then so is that. Because that is here, so is this. And through our relationships and conditioning, we develop internalized beliefs about ourselves and others. And they can become reified and reinforced. And some of them are deeply unsettling and problematic. And it's not hard to see how any of, how these interfere with any level of equanimity. However, the Tibetan teacher, Soni Rinpoche, I referred to him before too, he refers to these difficult beliefs and feelings, thoughts, moods, as our beautiful monsters. Monstrous, because they wreak havoc, and beautiful, because they can be seeds of wisdom if we learn to befriend and listen to them. Meditation helps us to cultivate a sense of openness so that we become less frozen, less fixed in our sense of self. We become more flexible and able to let things come and go. Thoughts, emotions, moods, phenomena, beautiful monsters arise from openness, dwell in openness, and ultimately disappear. They dissolve. We pause. We remember that awareness is our greatest and dearest ally. We remember the breath. One of our Sangha mates members last week asked in such a gentle way, where is the breath? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Mindfulness releases us from the tight identification, and it supports us in having more direct contact with what is arising, but not getting so caught in the content, disidentifying from the projections and stories and reactions to reactions, and settling back into a deeper awareness. Less personal, more intimate. And I am now using that as one of my slogans. I say this throughout the day: less personal, more intimate. Oh, less personal, more intimate. Lama Willa wrote in a Tricycle article on natural meditation, in order to stay with a process of subtle self-observation, a commitment to tolerance is necessary. We have to become okay with our mind just as it is. And she writes, awakening is not found anywhere other than within this wild mind, not in the future, nor in the past. So we need to develop some friendliness toward everything arising in this mind. We can't explore the truth of the mind while judging or reacting to it. And this is why we develop our holding environment of breath, body, heart, mind, so that we can watch the gymnastics in these minds. I want to share with you a bit of a personal story. I was invited to an event with a part of my family that I had not seen in a while because of a rupture. And that had left me with some pretty sharp and difficult feelings. And when I received the invitation, I thought, okay, no, I'm not going to go. I am just not up to it. I'm going to give myself lots of permission to say no. And I think in giving myself a lot of space allowed me then to begin to reflect on, okay, what is right action here? What is right effort? Right intention? And then I could slowly turn toward the possibility of going, which I did. I was so aware of needing to give myself lots of time and to offer lots of kindness and compassion to how difficult this was for me. Dylan talks about those hey buddy moments or those hey sweetheart moments. So, oh my goodness, this is difficult. This is hard. And I once I was there, it didn't feel good initially, but it wasn't as difficult as I had anticipated. And I was aware of the grip of right, wrong, self-righteousness softening. Susan Morgan writes, delusion or our ignorance is not about intellect, but about the inability to see clearly or to even know that we aren't seeing clearly, because all the self knows how to do is perceive, interpret, and react based on its years of conditioning. It's a distorted view. My view was distorted. And I think all of our views were distorted, but nonetheless, my view was distorted. And settling back, we give that instruction in the meditation, just settle back a little, feel for some grounding and self-compassion. A sense of equanimity arose in the midst of it. And in those moments that I couldn't feel it or access it, I knew it was there. And sometimes we can't access it, but with practice, we start to trust more. It's here for us. It's available for us. It's here. I could see with some more clarity that we had all suffered. We had all suffered out of our need to have certain things go certain ways. And there were moments of connection, care, that were quite beautiful and heartfelt. And it's possible, probably probable, that equanimity allowed me to see these moments. And there wasn't a big cathartic moment, no resolution. But as I have some distance from this experience, I feel such gratitude for these practices. Paul Simon's song isn't about a man who's crazy. It's about a man coming to terms with how it is. And I'm going to end with this story about another man. I don't know that they wrote a song about this, but this man's name was Siddhartha. And he sat under that Bodhi tree in his quest for enlightenment. And he was confronted by Mara, the Lord of Death, or the trickster guard. And Mara wished to stop his quest for enlightenment. And there were beautiful women and temptations of all kinds advancing toward him. And he sat still. He didn't engage. And doubt was Mara's final weapon, questioning his very right to exist. And Mara shouted at Siddhartha, "Who will speak for you?" And Siddhartha reached out his right hand to touch the earth. And the earth itself spoke and said, "I bear you witness." And Mara disappeared. And when the morning star rose, Siddhartha had become a Buddha. And Buddha simply means awakened. We can all wake up. We can all do this in the very ground of our being. Awakening is not found anywhere other than within this wild mind. Thank you for listening. Now we get to practice.